Hello, I am Thanos Sarris, the editorial director of Gazeta.gr, and I am pleased to be involved in this exceptional sports conference. I will be moderating the panel on social and digital media in sports. Does tech help sports culture? Does it help it? Indeed. Let's commence with an introduction of our esteemed speakers. It is a great honor to welcome Mr. Tasos Bakasetas, an international footballer and the captain of the Greek national team, as well as the founder of Stars Inc. 11, Mr. Panagiotis Aroniadis. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Panagiotis Aroniadis to initiate the conversation. He will shed light on Stars Inc. 11, his collaboration with world-class athletes, and explore how social and digital platforms are influencing distinctive culture in the realm of sports. So, Panagiotis.
Hello from my side. Very happy to be here among two friends above all and partners in this digital ecosystem that we are living in. I want this to be more like a conversation. I'm not much of a speaker. It's something that we discuss when we are with friends. What's the importance of social media and digital media, and if tech actually helps in our lives and in sports in particular. This is something also that Tasos, Mr. Bakasetas will speak. If from the player's perspective, if social media help players or is a distraction for them, I believe there is not a correct or wrong answer in this question, because social media is a way of expression, it's a way of communication, is something that helps you present yourself in a different way than on the pitch. This is my opinion. This is my way of thinking in general. That's why when we work with Mr. Bakasetas around content on his social media and things that we want to create together as part of the company, we discuss on what's the positive thing that we can get out of it? What's the footprint that Tasos can create on his digital version of himself as a football player, as the captain of the Greek national team? It's a great honor for me to work with him. It's something that I don't often say to him directly. Mostly, I repeat, we are friends than partners, but Tasos is like an exception to the football player's rule. He's very outgoing, he's very clever, he thinks ahead of his time, and he wants to create a lot of things. And his perception about this topic is really interesting, and for me, it's eye-opening. So I want to thank him from this conference for what we've created and what we will create together going forward. Of course, social media is not only positive, because they have the negative aspect as well, with cyberbullying, with hate speech, with lots of ups and downs in the psychology of a football player or an athlete in general. Also, there's the aspect of too much publicity coming into players, young players that are not really ready to manage that. So these all things is something that we can discuss, but I will give the floor also to Tasos to say a few words before we go into conversation.
Mm-hmm. So Tasos, from your side, what do you think about your exposure in social media platforms? And there are a lot of questions that I would like to ask about that, but let's start with your introduction.
Hello from my side also. I'm very happy that I'm here with you to discuss this kind of things. Of course, I want to thank Panos for his speech about myself and about everything. From my side, I want to say that with Panos, we are true friends. It's not about the collaboration that we have, that we work together on that. It's about the human relationship, and this is the most important thing for me. He helps me a lot until now. I mean, the last years that we worked together to create an image that I wanted to do. He pushed me a lot, many times, to do things that I was 50-50 to do it, and he was there for me encourage me and to show me what is right for my image, for myself also. And really, I'm very happy with this collaboration that we have. But first, above everything, is that we are truly friends. My comment about the social media is one word. I think the right word is balance. What I mean, you have to use the social media in the right way, not overuse, but because also if you try to do this every day, you lose your focus, you lose many things, and you think that everything is about what they write about you, what they think about you, and how the world looks at you. So I think if you use the social media in the right way, and you have, of course, the right people around you to protect your image, to help you in the right moments, this can be very helpful for every player. Because as a players, everyone can see what we can do in the pitch, and this is more what they care about, and this is normal. But also for us, it's important to show also other things of our personality, of our character. And if you do it in the right way, with balance about the time that you spend in the social media, can be very helpful to create an image that also the people can admire you, not only what you are doing in the football pitch, but also how you handle things in your personal life.
Mm-hmm. That's very right, and I think you answered to my first question, which was about how do athletes manage to find the fine line actually between sharing personal aspects and maintaining a level of privacy. And to elaborate, I would like to ask you, do you feel that sometimes social media, maybe for other athletes or for yourself, sometimes you can't hide from them? I mean, there are times that you need to relax after a big game or in a difficult period in your career, and you have to always to engage with someone in social media. Is it something that sometimes bothers you?
Yes, of course. I think most of the athletes, if you have a very good game and a huge game and derby or something like this, and you perform in a high level or you score a goal, after I think you like to see some comments that can gives you more confidence or many things about that. But there is also moments, and depends on the player, that yes, some games that the pressure is very high. The last 2-3 days before the game, you was thinking all the time about the game, and after the game, it's the time that when you perform, you do it everything. You need a couple of time of yourself to put your thoughts in a right way, to think about the game, what you did correct, what you did wrong, but also to relax. And at this time, yes, it's something that of course bothers you. But it's not only this. Also, in the other hand, if you have a bad game, that maybe you can read some comments that you don't like, or you don't prefer to read it, or something like this. This is something that also brings you a little bit down. I think this is very normal. When you read something like this, most of the people in the world, in my opinion, if they read something bad about himself, the first thought is not good about themselves. But also after it depends on the character, how you manage yourself, how you can handle with these comments, either if it's bad, either if it is good for you. So of course you need to work about this. It's not something easy that how we discuss now. You need to think, you need to work, you need to know what is most important for you. And I think the most important thing is the opinion about yourself, and not what other people think about you. So it's again about how you manage the situation in general terms.
It is very important what you said, because I want to mention that Tasos, he's an exceptional player, but most of all, he's an exceptional person. He's a he's a footballer that can manage situations and had some difficult moments, but always finds a way to prevail, let's say. And Panagiotis, I wanted to ask you, how has the integration of social and digital media transformed the way that the sports fan engage with the athletes and the live events?
First of all, I want to comment on what Tasos said. It's not by far, it's not easy to find this balance, because I accept and I agree that balance is the correct word to use. And it's not
The key.
Maybe it's easy for Tasos to do it or not, but it's not easy. Sorry for the interruption. It's not easy to manage it, because Tasos now it's at an age that he is on the verge of living also offline and online. So he can find more easy this balance. But we see a lot of younger players that most of their lives are online, and they have learned to live through social media to be easily affected. Over the past 10 years, when I was working for PAOK Football Club at the new media part of the job, I saw a lot of kids, let's call them, not on a negative way, to be destroyed after a bad game, as Tasos said, because the fans at the comments were killing them, and also to be above their ego when after the game everybody is saying that they are partly gods. So yes, you need to find the correct balance between the real life and the digital presence. So to answer what you asked me about how this whole digital ecosystem changed the way we interact with players and how players interact with the fans, it's something that has made this relationship more direct, because now if Tasos or an athlete wants to communicate something with his fan base, he can do it without needing a third party to interfere and pass on the message. So he can say what he wants in an easier way. And if he has the right people next to him, all the players, and I mean their family, partners, members of the team, to guide them, they can leave their own footprint. And this is the way that we choose to work with Tasos, because, okay, you can do a lot of things that are, let's say, the playbook of new media in order to create content, but we don't see a lot of players leaving their own footprint. And this is what we are trying to create with Tasos, because this is his way of thinking. And we agree on that, okay, you need also, besides creating content for the fans, you need to leave your own footprint to motivate the people that are listening to you, because it's not only about fan base, it's about younger audiences that need someone to be their idol, to motivate them and to help them be the better version of themselves.
Okay, that's true. And talking about social and digital media in sports, we should also take into consideration sports organizations. And from your experience, both of you, did you see that sports organizations like teams or federations are facing challenges regarding their online reputation? And are they using social media in maintaining the positive image?
Not always. Again, it's difficult, not from the player's perspective, but from the organization or federation perspective, to find the correct balance in this community management issue that bothers most of organizations, because not only the players get affected by comments and what they see from the fans using social media, also the clubs and federations are easily affected, because, and that's why most of them, if not all, because speaking about Greece, because we are different, we are not so open-minded as clubs and people are, for example, in England, in Premier League, or I don't know. So most of them are, let's say, afraid of what the fans will say if you create something, if you say something different, if you think a little bit outside the box. So also all organizations should be, what I say generally is, you listen and you respect the comments and what the fans say about you, but you don't decide because of the comments and what they say. You take it into consideration. You need to respect everyone, but at the end of the day, the decision should be from the organization point of view. So if you want to create something and you are afraid of doing it because of what the fans will say, this is a wrong decision. So you need to follow your strategy, you need to follow your path and carry on creating what you need, what you think that is necessary for the organization.
Tasos, I think that clubs and organizations in general should protect the footballers from overusing social media and digital in general, should have people to talk to them, especially the younger ones, as Panagiotis said. From your experience in the clubs that you have played, is that happening? People from the team have talked to you about the usage of social media, the dangers, and the protection?
To be honest, to be in sports and everything the last 4 or 5 years. So I cannot talk about my the previous teams that I was playing. On this team, no, they didn't say something about this, but also I think they don't know the time that you spend on social media, because you come to the training center here in the facilities and you stay 6 hours, maximum 7, let's say 7. You have also 2 hours training, maybe you are in the gym, so you don't use too much your phone, you can't use it. And also after, they cannot spy you during all day in the training center to watch. So they don't know. I think the most important persons about this situation is the family. The family, maybe the girlfriend that you're gonna have, one close friend, that he can spend time with you, and he can see what are you doing during all day. I believe
the correct word is not protect, because it's not something that can cause you problem. It is, but
sometimes it is. That's why
sometimes it is. Yes, but
I had in mind some cases that
there are a lot of cases
there were needed protections.
Exactly, but before being in the need of protection, I believe everybody is in the need of someone to
education.
Guide. Yes. So I think the correct approach for a club and the players is to guide them, to speak about them openly, about the goods and the do's and the don'ts of social media, try to help them realize the real things that are on stake in this kind of things, how to use with some basic principles and guidelines. But then, okay, you cannot take control of everything, and you shouldn't have. This is my opinion, because I never said to any player that either I work with him now or in the past when I was in PAOK that, okay, give me the control of your social media so I'm sure that you will not do something wrong or something that will affect either you or the club. My way of thinking is, okay, you speak with them, you let them know, you try to make them understand on their own, and then leave them the initiative to showcase their other side of their lives, as Tasos said before, on a real way. If I have a player that speaks through me or through you or through a third party, the fans cannot really know what the player is all about, what's his personality and everything. And if you try to create a false image, sooner or later this will come up.
Mhm. With the emergence of new age platforms like TikTok, for example, do you think that the athletes are adapting to new forms of content creation? And what impact does this have on their connection with younger audience?
To be honest, I think very few organizations or players or generally from the sports industry are really knowing what to do with TikTok. They all do things and create things because they feel that they need to do it, because, as you said, it will bring them closer to the younger generations, but very few actually have a strategy of what to do, why to do it, and how to do it. And it's not only about the players, it's mainly about the clubs and organizations. Very few cases that you can see a clear strategy of how to create and how to use this platform.
Mm-hmm. Tasos, do you also see social media as a path, as a way to talk about social causes or things that doesn't have to do with football?
Yes, of course. As I said before, when we start to work together with Panos, we said many things about about what we want exactly to show for our personality or our character. And yes, I think this is something that represents me. I like to speak about this kind of things for the things that I know only, not about general terms. For example, we never say something about the political situation and everything because it's something that I don't have the knowledge until now to talk and to express my opinion. So the things that I know and I have some ideas to share with the people. We will always do something for it.
The best example on that is that Tasos was brave enough to openly speak about mental health issues and about depression. And it's something that it was his decision. We discussed about it, of course, but he told me, okay, I have an idea. I want to speak about that because it's something that happened to me and I want to bring light to this because it's something that and not a lot of people speak about it, especially in sport, because it is considered like a weakness, which is not, of course. Everybody suffers from something, whether it is physical or mental. We should be realistic, we should be open and discuss about it with our friends and family, and why not with the fan base when it's done on a correct way, respecting things that should be respected, but also, as I said before, social media can be a way to motivate a lot of people and use it on a correct way. So we are trying to do that, and Tasos is one of the players that spoke about that, and that's why he was also invited to speak in a big conference around mental health issues, and I'm very proud of him for doing it.
Tasos, do you think that social media directly affect the mental health and the performance, maybe, of the athlete? And I mean, feedback from social media, negative content, hate speech, and all that. And what do you suggest in order to manage this pressure?
Of course, I think it depends. It affects a lot any athlete, I think. Any athlete in the world when they are mostly in the young ages, because it's really very difficult to handle the situation and to manage your emotions, especially, for example, if you're a young talent and everyone is waiting for you to do something in every game or something like this. It's not easy to manage all these emotions. But also, you know how that the world is tough, how the people are tough, and every time that they see you and you perform well, everyone speak about you. When you have a bad game, they will find the chance to bring you down, because this is something that they want to do, many people. So for me, the best thing that you can do, especially when you are young, because it's more difficult to handle it, is to take a step back of all these comments and situations. What I mean, because I did it also in the past. You have to make an agreement with yourself that you don't have to read the comments about you when you play very good, but also when you play bad. You have to stay focused on what you have to do. You have to stay focused how you can become better in every game, what you did wrong, what you did correct. And I think the best person to talk about this kind of things is yourself, because you know better than anyone if you have a good game or a bad game. But you have to be honest with yourself. And this is not something that is also easy. This is what I recommend. Step back of the good things or the bad things and stay focused on how you can become better and better.
Mm-hmm. Panagiotis, can you share examples of successful digital media campaigns and underline the key elements that contributed to their success from your experience? You talk about this beautiful documentary with Tasos about the way that he talked about his depression, not his, about depression. And but there are other things that you have also done. Can you share with us some cases?
Yeah, well, the first thing that comes in my mind, it's something that I saw the previous period of time. It's not something that we've created, because I don't like to speak for a lot for the things that we create. I'm not this type of person. I was impressed by the campaign of Norwich about mental health, since we are talking about this issue, with one incredible video that those of you who haven't seen it, try and search it and find it. The approach was amazing. So, because it's not something that it's always visible, this kind of problem. So you can see a person smiling next to you, but you don't know if he suffers or not. So yes, this campaign and this video was really powerful and had a lot of impact throughout Europe. So on the top of my mind, this is one example that I would like to mention.
Mm-hmm.
About personal projects, because you mentioned about the documentary that we created with Tasos, it was something to highlight a really, really good story, because everything around social and digital media is about storylines and try to narrate the correct story in a correct way. So what we've tried to do is highlight an historical feature that Trabzonspor made, winning the league for the first time in 38 years, being the only club outside of Constantinople that wins the league, and using Tasos as the main, the lead, let's say, character of this championship. But we didn't want it to make it too self-centered, so we presented the whole story for the club and from the club in a way that it would help also the Turkish fan and the fan base of Trabzonspor to connect with Tasos and the whole historical thing that they did.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier hate speech and all this uncontrollable wave of hate that sometimes we meet online. And I was thinking that maybe technology is also the cure, because we have seen lately that with artificial intelligence, they are testing the way that they can control, the hate speech and all that. What do you think?
I think technology can, as you said, be a mean to control these kind of things. The correct way to stop them, if we want to speak ideally about stopping that, is education, because it's something that is not only about social media, it's a general aspect of our lives, because we see it all over the place that people, especially from the privacy of a keyboard and through their social media, can be the worst version of themselves, speaking words that they wouldn't even dare to think if all this situation was in face-to-face and in person. So this is a matter of education for me. It's a matter of values that you have from your house, from your family, from your friends growing up, and how to manage difficult situations and how to react in these kind of things, because it's quite easy to be the bad guy, but it's also equally easy to be the good guy. It doesn't cost you anything to write a good comment or not to say the first bullshit that comes in your mind. So yes, let's try to be the better person inside us, and let's try to help younger generations to know how to manage these things, because okay, to say that there's real life and there's digital life, it's kind of old school. We're living in a digital world, so we need to accept it and embrace it and try to help younger kids that live through their phones mostly, whether we like it or not, to use them on the best possible way. I'm not saying that they will be perfect. Nobody is perfect, but let's try to minimize the negative comments and the hate speech and everything.
So to sum it up, from your experience, from both of you, I think that the key words are education and equilibrium, balance, in order to actually manage to use technology, social and digital media as a positive factor in sports. Do you agree? Tasos?
Was for me. I thought it was
for both of you.
Yes, I think,
education and
I think
balance.
these two words are the most important in my opinion. Yes, I agree 100%.
In Panagiotis?
Of course, I repeat, it's not easy. It's not something that you can do overnight. It's something that you have to work with yourself, first of all, in order to be how you want to be on social media as a digital footprint, not try to present a different image from what you actually are, because you need to be honest, you need to be realistic about who you are and not try to, let's say, create an avatar of you, an ideal avatar, and then go out of the digital world and be something completely different. No, present who you are on the way that you want, on a correct way, rounded up, more balanced, as we say. And this is the way to move forward, I think.
Mm-hmm. Although there are important parts in the world of sports, especially in Greece, that do not belong in the digital universe, new technologies are always emerging, like virtual reality, augmented reality. Do you foresee that they will shape the future of sport consumption and fan engagement in the near future?
They will change it for sure. I don't know if they're going to save it, but the way that younger generations consume sports, it's totally different. And you will not find a person under 25 or even nowadays over 25 that will stay 90 minutes watching a football game without any distraction. They will go on their phones, they will say something, they will chat. So the way that we consume football is changed, and augmented reality and all these feats that are on development for sure are going to change it even more. And this is something that pandemic, you reacted as an accelerator of all these tech feats that we've seen nowadays, because within these 3 years that we were locked in our houses, in general, being afraid with and affected by COVID, we saw a lot of new things being created that normally should take at least more 5 years in order to be developed. But yes, it's different, but I think the key thing is to maintain the emotions that sports generate and try to enhance it with the new technologies, not be totally out of this real life effect with the emotions and how it's the atmosphere in a stadium, but try also to help people that don't have the luxury, let's call it, to be on the stadium because they might be 1,000 kilometers away from the team that they support. So for them, it's something good because it's something that can take you to have a real life experience even when you are at home. But we need to keep on investing on emotions because this is sports. Sports are emotions.
Mm-hmm. And maybe try to find a way to preserve the traditional aspects of sports culture into a digital world.
You need to
I
mix.
think some sports entities have also clear difficulty in that.
Yes, you need to mix it because we saw 1 year and a half ago that everybody was talking about metaverse. They were trying to create NFTs, but most of these solutions right now, they don't exist because it was heavily depending on technology and they didn't mix it with a real life experience. So the correct way, until at least for now, is to find the balance to embrace technology, but also try to give something as an experience to the fans, because it's not about money or technology, it's about the experience. So, and what you give to the audience.
Mm-hmm. And Tasos, I know that here we are talking about social and digital media, but since there is the term tech in the title of our conversation, I wanted to ask you about the different aspect of tech, how technology and all this data and analytics that you can obtain from technology are helping a footballer from your generation to improve his performance.
Yes, it's a very good question, and again, I will say that it depends how to use it. My opinion is not that from one side that we didn't have this data, we have to go through in the other side that we have all data and we look only data and what you do and what is going on. For example, if you run for 13 kilometers, that means that is one player that he ran too much. For me, it's not working like this. Maybe some games, some players in a specific position can run this kilometer. But if you run in every game this kind of kilometers, in my opinion, for sure you do something wrong. You run in the spaces that normally you don't have to run. And if you do this, when you take the ball, you don't have the clear mind to make the right decision. Is also some things that you need to discuss with the people that know about the performance and everything, the coaches and everything, and they don't have to stay just in the statistics and in the numbers. There are players that they involve in a football game that maybe they don't have the best statistics or they don't run too much, but they are so helpful for the team and for their teammates. And about the leadership of the team, because this is also important. And nowadays, most of people, they don't give the value that they have to do. So, of course, if you use this data in the right directions of yourself, how you can become better, what you have to work in specific way to be better in some things during the game, they can be so helpful, really. And something that is very small, before a couple of years, all the players, they stay in front of the TV to watch again all the game. Okay, this is something that can help you a little bit, because you look also the positioning that you have sometimes and you don't have it. But now with the technology and what we have, they can send you a video 12 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes that they show you only when you have the ball, or when you go to press aggressive, when you run to a space. And this is something that you win time. You win time to do things better. If you have the right persons next to you, and to use this technology in the right way, can be so helpful. But it's not good to stuck only on the statistics, on the numbers and everything, because after you lose what you love when you was a kid and you start to play. When you start to play, you didn't know about this kind of things, but now, of course, they can help you.
Mm-hmm. And Panagiotis, I think this creates also, it's connected with what we talked before, because, for example, who can see in social media platforms that stats and infographics and all that stuff are very popular, and they can create false impressions about the footballer. For example, look, he's not running, and he may does other things in the field, as Tasos said, that we can't count them, or we can count them, but we don't choose, to focus on them, and it creates from each side comments and negative comments and negativity, and it's like a cycle.
This overuse of stats and data can lead to another thing that is not good. It builds the culture of statistics, and you in the near future you can see it right now as well. You can see players only caring about their stats, so which is not good. Speaking from the perspective of being a team, it's not a personal sport. If you are a track and field athlete, of course you would look about the numbers, your timings and everything. But speaking about team sports, it's not the correct way to work, caring only about yourself and about your stats. But of course, these kind of things and technology can create a new perspective of watching sports. And I remember last summer, it was the tech innovation conference that they do in Germany, that we saw for the first time cameras inside the shirt, giving the fans to see how it is if you are Bakasetas on the pitch, and how Tasos is seeing things. So there are a lot of things that can enhance this whole experience of watching sports. But again, in everything in our lives, not only in sports and social media and stuff, you need to have the balance in everything.
Mm-hmm. So I think from what you said, there is not a clear answer to the question, does tech help sports culture? It depends on a lot of things. It depends on a lot of key factors. We talked about balance, we talked about education, we talked about different stuff. And in order to sum it up, I would like from you a final comment about this. Is in the end tech something that we could take advantage of it?
I believe yes. In every new thing that it can be good, we need to exploit it on the best possible way. But of course, in everything and in every, let's call it a weapon in brackets, you need to use it wisely. So yes, technology by itself is not something that can give you something really positive, but it can help you, and it can be also negative. But let's focus on the positive side generally, and find a way to use all these new features on our behalf, and in order to be better, create new things, create better things, new experiences, help the players, help all the sports industry to evolve, and not be afraid of using the new things.
And Tasos, do you agree?
Yes, of course, I agree. In both things, technology and social media, my opinion, if you use it in the right way for yourself, they can be both so helpful for your life. And especially technology for what you are doing in sports, because you can see many things, you can find the details that probably you are doing wrong, and if you improve this, you can be better and better. So, as we said, balance again for me is the most important word.
From the creative part, technology can be intimidating because, okay, if you are a football player, you cannot be afraid like a robot will replace you in the near future. But being like a journalist or a creator or something in this part of the job, it can be intimidating because you see with the AI that things are quite easier, and in the near future you might not be necessary to do some things. But again, it's not something bad. It's something that we must find a way to use it on our behalf, and in order to become better and not be afraid that it's something that will take our jobs. So qualities will remain the same whether we use technology or not. So if you are good at your job and you know what to do, technology is an extra weapon on your side. So yes, let's be positive and try to find the ways to become better and better.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot for this conversation. Thanks a lot for being here with us in Front Runners in Sport Management Conference. I hope that we will stay on positive aspects of technology. I hope we will find a way to use it as an assistant, not as a weapon, I would say. And
better word for sure.
and let's stay on the way that Tasos, who is a professional footballer and a player, is using it. And I think he paved the way.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much also. Thank you.
Oh, wow. How are you doing? You good? Oh, sorry, thank you. How you doing? God, it's exciting, isn't it?
So, how's the week been?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.